when Captain America throws his mighty shield. All those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue will come through when Captain America throws his mighty shield.
Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome back to Enter the Spoilercast, Falcon and the Winter Soldier edition. We are back in action with the new episode this week. We are a wee bit behind, but we promise to catch you up. So, as always, I am Sarah, and with me are three very intelligent men on a mission. We got Carl.
Yush.
We got Matt.
Hi, hi.
And we got Cam.
Hey, yo, what's up?
I guess we're dropping the urbans now.
Oh, we're doing that. My apologies.
The urban makes the flavor.
I thought I sent out the memo.
It's okay. We don't do memos here at Enter the Spoilercast. We just embrace chaos in its most pure form. So we are back again with another episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We've seen a lot of fun new people, but before we rip into the juicy meat that is this episode, we gotta tune in for the best part of every episode that we get to have, because Carl is back this week. Carl's recap. Now, Carl, tell us what happened this week on Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Alright, so this week, unbeknownst to Mr. Wilson, Bucky decides to orchestrate a prison riot to help Baron Zemo escape in order to get Baron Zemo to help them stop the Flag Smashers. The new trio now travel to Madripoor, a criminally sanctuary city island sort of thing, to meet with the high-ranking criminal known as Selby. Unfortunately, they do not run into a fuzzy Canadian called Patch.
Nice.
Selby reveals that the power broker hired former Hydra scientist Dr. Wilfred Nagel to recreate the super soldier serum. Wilson obviously blows the entire plan because, you know, his sister decided to call, and yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, Americans, pretty much. In the in the ensuing firefight, Selby is killed, and a bounty is placed subsequently on Wilson, Barnes, and Zemo as they try to escape Madripoor. Out of nowhere, Agent 47? That's what she calls herself, or used to be called, otherwise known as Sharon Carter, who has been living as a fugitive after stealing the shield, and in some point in time, I can't remember. Saves the trio from the bounty hunters and brings them to Nagel. They learn the truth about how Nagel reproduced the serum, and that there are 20 doses of the serum total, which Morgan Theo, if I botched that, tough shit, has stolen to use with the Flag Smashers. Zemo, the recap says Zemo unexpectedly kills Nagel, but it's Zemo. And the lab is destroyed, but Zemo steals a very cool car so they can all get away. Carter stays at Madripoor, basically stating that she can't set foot on American soil without Wilson trying to get her a pardon. Where are we? Walker and Hoskins arrive in Berlin, deduce that Barnes and Wilson help Zemo escape, and the Flag Smashers basically go and destroy a storage facility in Lithuania for supplies, and they're all basically trying to track everybody down, except Barnes finds some Wakandan tracking devices in the street and confronts Dora, who basically goes, "I want Zemo," and that was the end of the episode.
Like I said, lots of stuff happening. Last week, I know Carl, you weren't here. This week we don't have Keith. Moment of silence for Keith not being here.
Yeah, it's long enough. Let's go.
I was like, hey, moment of silence over. Last week we talked about how we were really excited to see Sharon, and lo and behold, Sharon's out here. Sharon is basically just chilling because she's no longer cool. She's no longer cool with the U.S. government. It's a mutual hate ship apparently, and it's interesting to see her running around Madripoor, basically just doing crimes. Like, what exactly is happening?
I
Art
have a
crimes.
theory about that.
Oh, do you?
Yes. My theory is if as our young Australian man mentioned, the patches. I guess it's also because they haven't mentioned yet. There is a woman known as White Tiger. Tiger. She runs the criminal underground of Manipur. And since they haven't announced that character yet, Sharon may not leave because she's also the Tiger who runs the criminal underground of Manipur. So, that's my theory why she also can't leave, because she's also in criminal elements. That, and she's just too badass to be on TV. She would take away the bromance if she was there.
That's true.
She definitely has some other shit going on. Like, she seems so different from the last time we saw her. I mean, and that was when Civil War.
Yeah.
Correct? Is that right? Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, she just seems just fucking over it. Like, she seems like she's really just fed up with like just the whole, situation. Like, she's still a war criminal, while basically, all of the Avengers who didn't sign the Accords have more or less gotten pardons and such from what we've learned so far. But yeah, it's I think it's interesting that she wasn't one of them. I don't believe that she wasn't able to like make a call and be like, hey, can I call someone like at Stark Industries or somewhere and like have some sort of connection. But I don't know, they sort of gave her the shitty end of the deal here.
I don't know. She could have made a pretty damn good case by going, "Hey, you want the real Mona Lisa?" Because she's in the Madripoor basically art gallery where everything's stolen and all the originals and everything else, so no fakes and that. So she could have made some really good deals to get her freedom back if she really wanted
That's
to.
True. But I also think. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, to me, it feels like with Sharon, they just sort of like, they just use her as like, what do we need in this movie? We need love interest. If we need sneaky suspicious neighbor. Now we need like crime pin boss with a heart of gold. Like,
she does seem like almost a completely different character.
Yeah.
And just like wasn't it like, I think Bucky was like, she's like awful now or something like that. And I was like, yeah, she's very different. Like, I don't remember her having this kind of personality or even this much personality to begin with.
Well, she is sitting basically in the middle of the standalone island for crime and corruption. So the fact that she does sort of get a bit of an aggressive edge, you need that to live in Madripoor.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually think it's kind of cool. It shows that, like, in certain scenarios, some characters will change, but they still maintain that that element of goodness who they are, not like just change to be some horrible, edgy monster lord that just we all accept. But I think it's also pretty sure how well she was able to adapt to her environment. I mean, she's technically been off the grid for God knows how long. And everyone's like, oh, I guess she's doing fine. Like, not really, but it's better than the alternative,
For Sharon. Her aunt dies, and that's like literally it. She's like, well, my usefulness has run out.
Time to dip out.
Which is really bad, because in the comic books she actually becomes Steve Rogers' love interest, but now that we don't have a Steve Rogers, it's sort of like, well, what do you do with her now?
Well, they could push the thing is, from Comics X, before Maria Hill was around, she took over director of S.H.I.E.L.D. when Nick Fury was LOL dead. So they can't do that. So it would be interesting to see if they decide to make her, as I suggested earlier, like the Tiger, the woman who runs Manipur Island. I think that's my personal, dream. But I also would like to see more adventures of Manipur Island with our good friend Patch. That's
the fact that we didn't get Hugh Jackman in an eye patch as a cameo in this was very disappointing.
Yeah.
-5 stars.
I'm so sorry. The show is a failure. There was no Hugh Jackman.
And an amazing Cypress.
He's gonna show up as Mephisto.
If that happens, I'll be like, there we go.
No,
my money's still on the waitress from episode 1.
Oh my god.
Waitress from episode 1.
I was gonna say that I completely threw myself off with what I said, and then you guys go ahead. I've lost myself here.
It's totally fine. So yes, so Sharon, she back, and of course we get to see Zemo in full douche canoe action because Zemo's
God.
also kind of an asshole.
We have a new douche canoe this episode.
Yeah.
Douche canoe 2 enters the chat.
Douche canoe
Basically-
2, douche boogaloo.
Douche Boogaloo. There we go. Yeah, Douche Boogaloo.
You did it.
Perfection. You made
You
it.
got
You made
there.
it happen. We see him basically being, again, reminding us that, like, yes, he is actually hella rich, which is just, like, cool. I guess that makes sense as to why then you could go around the world killing super soldiers and stuff, but fine. Takes them to the nightclub, does his little dance. Apparently everybody's very excited about Daniel Bruhl dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, there has
New
been
meme.
the hashtag release the Zemo dance.
No, resist the Zemo cut. Release the Zemo cut.
I love it. Beautiful. So yeah, I mean, we only really got to see Zemo in Civil War, and very briefly, honestly, I feel like I at least for me, I classified him as one of the weaker villains because we never really got to see much of him. He just sort of set the pieces in motion and watched the other people kill each other or try to beat the shit out of each other, really. So that to me, but this episode, I think he really shines. Anybody else have any Zemo feels?
He actually showed himself as the aristocrat villain he is. He still believes he's above everyone. He has poor dance moves, but the Zemo cut will fix it. I mean, clearly, years in the making, this episode was clearly poorly made, but the Zemo cut comes out, we'll see his amazing dance move, busting a move and all that.
In 4x3.
And 4x3 in his original IMAX format, yes.
All right. No more of these jokes.
Oh man, guys, we cannot spend the entire podcast episode shitting on the Snyder Cut.
All right, all right.
Please.
But yeah, please. But no, but all seriousness, I think he showed a lot of personality within this episode that he kind of did in Civil War. No, was it? I'm sorry, Rise of Ultron, right?
No, Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War.
This is the one where they fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, and Age of Ultron was the one before.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, Age of Ultron. Yeah, and as well as because he was also in Age of Ultron, so he showed much more personality in this. Because in that one, he was just a villain who had a revenge scheme, but now he's an aristocrat. He's rich. He's intelligent. He is dubious against his own means. I think that was very interesting. I think they said a lot in this episode on the minor stuff more than his big evil stuff. The only thing he was missing was a purple suit, but he had the mask.
Well, that's the whole thing with like characters like Zemo and that. Also, you got to see Batroc the Leaper in the early episodes as well. So it seems like those that didn't get much of a role in, say, like Civil War or something, are finally getting their chance to shine during this story, which I reckon is pretty good because Baron Zemo is a great character.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think he definitely was like behind the scenes kind of person, but now we kind of see him like he's actually like getting into the action and like fighting a bunch of guys, killing a bunch of guys, and while also like still being that sort of like manipulator, which I thought it was super cool to see him, be expanded and seem a little bit more like his comic book counterpart, who was just always just getting into mischief.
Yeah, the I wouldn't say so much camaraderie, but sort of the acting between Zemo and Bucky when they're first getting the Madripoor, and like Bucky's having to be the Winter Soldier all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like that scene was just so pitch perfect for both characters that it was like I just couldn't. That was my sort of highlight of the week was just Zemo was like, soldier, kill. And then you see Bucky just go ape shit. It's like, you enjoyed that, didn't you?
It is
I
nice
love
to
that.
see him kind of
You're
go
good
ape
at following
shit.
your role. That was excellent. That was excellent interaction between the two. And this also supports my theory, back I said from like the early episodes, Zemo's out, making the Thunderbolts, Thunderbolts Dream Boys, we're in there.
Oh man, you really want those Thunderbolts to happen.
So much.
Yeah, I'm spreading this agenda as well.
Oh man,
Yes!
we got 2 people on the Thunderbolts agenda.
Just depends on which version of the Thunderbolts we're talking.
The classic one, the one by Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley. So I would say Atlas, Moonbeam, Volt, and I forgot. It's not Hawkeye. Hawkeye is the one after. My Master. I forget, but I'm talking the OG one from Kurt Busiek and Bagel. So the
Good,
first one.
good. As long as we're not talking the the one that eventually became the Dark Avengers, led by Norman
God.
Osborn.
No. I don't think that's I actually don't think that's a good fit because one, it's a little too complicated to move, and two, I prefer I don't know because you're a Spider-Man guy, Carl. Osborn should just stay in Spider-Verse. That's how I feel about him as a character.
Yeah, agreed.
Just stay there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of highlights, usually we start with highlights, but today I just wanted to go straight into Sharon and Zemo. I don't know, my heart is pulled by those two. So we've got one highlight. Does anybody else have anything in this episode that really like spoke to them that they really loved?
I like pretty much like the entire sequence, like kind of on when they were all three of them on the plane, on Zemo's private plane or whatever, and just like kind of what Carl was saying about like seeing them have like this sort of not camaraderie, but just sort of like, we're kind of all reluctantly working together and doing this, but like they still had like that banter that was like still there between when it was just Sam and Bucky, and then Zemo kind of fits in and just like in his own weird way, and it like works really well. And like, I really just enjoyed all of the scenes of like all three of them like interacting together, because they do have this very, very complicated, just like connecting tissue between the three of them, and just like there's always this weird tension, but like it's still very just fun at the same time. It's a strange like medium, but like I think they handled that really well.
The best way to describe it is a beautifully complex relationship between them, each other, such as I just love the interaction. That's a highlight for me. But if you go further down, remember how Bucky and Sam were during that scene? They had no idea how to connect with each other. We do like the action movie. We couldn't follow my lead. The awkwardness, the inability for them to like come to terms, as well as Zemo just running around doing his own thing, showing that in the end, Zemo knows what he wants to do. These guys don't. I think it was pretty cool. Just the way they interacted, I definitely was a highlight for myself as well.
And it was also that opening scene where like Bucky's describing the whole breakout thing, and then all of a sudden Zemo just rocks up. It's like, really?
Yeah, that was.
I had to do it.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have allowed me otherwise.
I was surprised by that. Yeah, that was very cool. It was very like Ocean's 11 heist type of like motif going on, and I was feeling it. I was like, this is they made this for me, and I'm enjoying it. So this is good.
No, definitely. I mean, as cheesy and as bad as it was when the sister calls, I just found that super funny. I just thought it was like he's trying so hard to salvage this, and like
his cover.
Yeah, it's just so bad.
Like, I have the bomb. Yeah, of course, we're gonna blow up the bank.
Yeah, and she's like, what? And she's like,
I got all this money that we're gonna launder. What are you talking about, Sam? Ah, shit.
Damn it. I just thought it was so funny. Like it was so close. And then that one line where he's like, you dressed me like a pimp. And he's like, of course an American would assume that any black man in a colorful suit is a pimp. It's fashion. I'm like, yes, you tell him, Zemo.
Oh, and that reminds me. Back on the plane. Where did they talk about Marvin Gaye? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that was
when
great.
They talk about Marvin Gaye. Yeah, it captures the African American experience. It I did not expect those words to come out of Zemo's mouth. But I was like,
educated.
You know what? He's read the right books. I'm like, you know what? I can appreciate him for that.
Yeah, I was just like, this is a very interesting thing for a wealthy foreign white man to say, but he's not wrong.
Who has, I mean, I don't know how tied he is to his comic version. Potential Nazi ties that we don't know about in the movie yet.
He works for anyone for his own mean. He can be Nazi, etc.
Yeah.
Well, the thing though is, like as I mentioned earlier, it shows the class of Zemo. He's well educated. He's a socialite. He's a well versed man. But it also comes off hilarious because look at this. Like, yes, I'm aware of Marvin Gaye. I'm also a fan of Luther Vandross. Like, what?
Just name drop all of them. Just name drop them all.
Yeah, I would pay top dollar if you did that. Like, you know what? 5 stars. Go for it.
I think we definitely have to talk about.
If Zemo turned around and said, "I enjoy Snoop D-O double G," I would have just lost my shit.
Yeah,
that would have been pretty great.
That would have been like an instant class. Like it would just cemented it forever. I think I do want to talk a little bit about Carly Morgenthau, the terrorist leader. the Flag Smashers. We get this thing, and I kind of, I feel a little dumb for not having predicted this to happen. So basically, we see Carly, and Carly explains her backstory about how hard it was and how she wanted to be a teacher and do good. And you're like, oh, I feel for you, Carly. You just want to feed starving people. And then she's like, but then I blew up the building with all the people inside. Mwahaha. Look at how far I'll go for the cause, And I was just like, oh, god damn it. Seriously, are we doing this? We're doing this. We're doing the terrorist group has the right intentions and good ideas, but just goes too far, and that's why we can't like them, you guys, because they're too extreme, and they don't respect life enough.
Did anyone else find her to be even more corny than Baron Zemo, who's supposed to be the corny supervillain?
Yeah.
I felt like this was so flat. It's like they only understand violence. I am the true villain. Like, what are you doing? I thought you were supposed to be the confused. I'm out of here. Let's just call it today.
Charlie, it's not a good look, girl.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
She's going to be betrayed somewhere in the next couple of episodes, and somebody else is going to take over.
I think she's going to be betrayed by the guy who's like, but there were people inside, and you're like, oh no, that's the one who's going to feed Sam. Or
he's going to flip, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to flip and tell him everything.
He's good.
Yeah, I was just like, buddy, you are part of a terrorist organization. Did you really think no one was gonna die? I'm pretty sure people died in that, the bank robbery y'all did. Like, come on now.
He probably gonna say it was my first time. Come on, please.
Never your first time. Yeah. So that to me was a little because it's interesting, and somebody, I don't remember who brought this up. I was watching somebody talking about, or listening to somebody talk about this, where they're like, yeah, the Flag Smashers have a really globalist ideology, which is interesting, that they're the villains in a thing made by the company that seems hell-bent on taking over the damn world at this point, that owns a solid chunk of the media landscape and is super obsessed with what the Chinese movie market wants and will watch. And so it's just yeah, wait, if they made them the villain, they're gonna have to do something to make them villainous, right?
Right.
See, my confusion about the Flag Smashers is that they keep going on about how the Flag Smashers are about this group that it's about returning things to the way they were during the blip. So during that 5-year period where half the population was destroyed. I'm like, how? Exactly. How are you going to do? How are you going to achieve something like that? That's way broader stroke.
Yeah, my question is so, and also what exactly do they want? I'm guessing they don't want the massive supply chain disruption and all of that, right? I'm guessing what they want is the political fluidity.
Kind of unclear.
Yeah.
I can't really figure it out. I mean, and they also haven't really delved into it at all.
Yeah.
Aside from just kind of reiterating things that we already know about them, but
I
don't know. We don't know if they have a deeper ideology than that. Which I hope there's more than that, because that's kind of disappointing if that's all it is.
Yeah.
And I want to say is from my take of it, perhaps they're trying to fight against that commercial we saw in the episode, the Global Distribution Center, GDC, those guys. Are they trying to fight against them? That's the only clearest benefit I'd see, but I don't really see an interaction between them,
Yeah, I don't understand. Are they fighting on behalf of the refugees? Are they? Because I'm sure then we see the refugee camps where their caretaker dies. What? Yeah, it's very unclear what exactly their ideology and their mission is. What do they hope to achieve, or what are they? Yeah, so they stole some money. They stole some food. They killed some people.
And they're kind of doing a Robin Hood type of situation.
Except they're not giving it to anybody else. They're taking it for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, they were they also Carly was helping someone with medicine, vaccines, and stuff like that. But yeah, we don't really know. I mean, they took a lot of stuff. I mean, they blew up a bank. You'd think if they were doing that, they'd probably be helping these people more.
Yeah, it's like I said, it doesn't feel this is a 6-episode series, or halfway through. I'm hoping this is episode 4 comes up and they kind of explain their actual. Otherwise, it seems like just a bunch of rando dudes just want to smash stuff.
Yeah, some random dudes who like ARG shit, so they're just like, "Oh, let's put our fun handprint on a bunch of weird places. You can only see it with an app. Like, why? What is the point? Like,
that's definitely how it feels now.
Yeah, sir?
And without the motivation of the villains, we don't really like. It's sort of hard to justify the motivation of the heroes. Because the story goes both ways. You've got to have a hero and a villain, and if the villains don't make sense, well, then the overall plot doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. They're very. I mean, I really do feel like they're positioning Walker to be the big villain. Honestly, I feel like these guys are just incidentals that are just there to spice up the plot like oregano in a pizza. But you know,
yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about. I do feel like Walker's definitely gonna come into blows with them because I believe we said it last week as well. Like he's more than likely after like some sort of super soldier serum for himself. Is my just long running theory that like by before the end of this show he's gonna be super powered, and because he probably feels like he needs it, and like he's like I don't feel like I can stack up to Steve Rogers, and I feel like and just the way he is just. He's getting a little unhinged and more.
Yeah.
And I could see him just going very far to get that so he can just sort of further his own just desires and ego.
You know what? I forgot he was even in the series. Like, outside of the opening, I think it was like the first episode, I think after they had him do the where he rolls up in the military jeep and goes to Bucky and Wilson, hey, I'll give you a ride, and they just flop him off.
Yeah.
After that point, I just went, I really don't care about this character. Like, I don't remember if he did anything in this episode, but then again, I might be confusing it for episode 2.
He did. What he did this episode, which leans towards, a little more subtle that he's not the good man, is he told his partner that, hey man, if we just keep up the books, don't lie anything. Does America really care if we do the right thing as long as we get the job done? I'm like, there we go. That's the U.S. agent I know.
He was beating the shit out of one of the Flag Smasher guys who wouldn't tell. Or the guy who let them stay in his place in Germany. I don't remember.
Germany. I believe it was Germany.
Yeah. And he was beating the shit and what's his name? Wildstar? Star Smasher?
I don't know.
Battlestar?
Battlestar Galactica,
yeah. And when Battlestar's like, dude, no. He's like, gotta get results for America. And you're like, that's the bad. There he is. He's trapped in douche canoe.
Creeping through. We're getting more and more of it. I think it's just gonna get worse from here.
See again. Like, I saw that. I saw that, and I must have automatically forgot it. Like, I really don't care about US Agent in this entire series because I'm more drawn into the adventures of Wilson and Bucky. And now that they've added Zemo, I'm like, yeah, this is the story I want. Fuck everything else.
Yep. Nope, it's true. Yeah, I just want friendship. I just want buddy cop. But
no. This is the odd couple with a third wheel.
Yeah.
True.
The one we've always deserved.
What we need in these troubling times. All right, so I want to touch on a theory that I've seen floating around.
Is it Mephisto?
No Mephistos. I already told you it's the waitress. I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it till the end.
The waitress is Mephisto? Is that what
the waitress is Mephisto. Episode 1 is Mephisto. She plays Battleship with Bucky.
Yeah.
And who plays Battleship with Bill and Ted and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey? Death.
No, this checks out.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems legit.
He's Mephisto. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Right now, I just picture you on like a corkboard, just covered in string, and pictures of Mephisto.
Oh, you must have missed our WandaVision recordings because we had that whiteboard going on for days.
Oh God,
I believe it.
It was the whiteboard room. It was intense. But different theory, not non-Mephisto theory time. So in it we hear a lot of mentions of the power broker. The power broker is the guy or girl who is handing out the happy magic serum so that they can get all buff and punch people in the face. I've seen a theory floating around, and this could be what's happening, given that someone got in a fancy ass car after all the shit went down. Could Sharon Carter be the power broker?
So this is one that I definitely saw and I was curious about as well, because obviously she's in deep in this sort of like this dark world of Madripoor. So seeing her involved with the power broker, like she's obviously like aware of everything that's happening, but seeing her either being the power broker or being heavily involved with the power broker seems very likely to me. Especially because basically like as soon as she's leaving in her fancy car, she's speaking to somebody on the phone, said something to the effect of like, we have a problem or something along those lines, right? And yeah, I feel like either she's so my personal theory has either been she's directly involved with the power broker or she's directly involved with the Flag Smashers.
Or theory 3, she's involved with Thunderbolts. Oh, I mean Patches. One or the other.
Well, I actually just going and doing a quick Google search. There wasn't actually originally Power Broker wasn't just a single person. It was a group of people. It was actually known as Power Broker Incorporated.
Yeah,
they had
right,
and it only became a single entity when a new Power Broker showed up in more recent times. So for all we know, like even though they say Power Broker is watching, they never established that the Power Broker is actually a single person. They just keep referring. They keep referring. They keep referring as the Power Broker, not like he is the Power Broker, she is the Power Broker. It's the Power Broker or Power Broker is watching. It's that very ambiguous, no single label. So
right,
it could be that Sharon is a part of Power Broker Incorporated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah, like I mean, I could see it. Like I mean, I think we're definitely going to see more of what kind of shady things Sharon has got into.
And also considering going on the idea of like Power Broker being a group, just reading over, it says from what I've been able to find for the Earth 616 continuity, Power Broker was also responsible for strength augmentation of U.S. Agent and Battlestar. So maybe Power Broker could be the one who influenced U.S. Agent to become the new Captain America, and also could be part of the reason behind the Flag Smashers.
Playing both sides of the conflict to get all the goodness.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense for Power Broker.
Well, we'll just have to see anybody else besides Matt and his Thunderbolts theory. We get it, Matt. You want the Thunderbolts. They might happen. We don't know. And
it's my dream. It's just a dream.
We're gonna have to put you out of your misery, buddy. Take them back.
Something that did happen briefly when they were in Latvia, I had like a brief moment where I freaked out and thought it said Latveria.
Yes, I was like, dude.
I was like, are they gonna? No, they're not. All right, never mind. I got ahead of myself.
No, you're not the only one who saw that. I saw that and went, really? We're gonna see Doctor Doom? Please?
Yep.
I was like, we're halfway there. Just give us the rest.
Yep.
Give us the rest of Latveria.
I was like, oh my god, are we gonna get Danae Guerrero? Like, is she coming back? And no, it's just some random Raj Malal lady.
We get Madripoor.
Apparently.
We've got Madripoor, which is like meant to be it's a fictional area, so I'm happy for that at least.
Yeah,
that is very X-Men heavy.
True.
Yeah,
which is funny.
I mean,
like
honestly,
another show of another big X-Men sort of connection, but like not really.
Just like womp womp. We keep teasing that the X-Men are coming, and then
we're gonna tease X-Men in every one of our shows, and then it's not gonna be anything.
Nope. Though I will say, I feel real dumb because y'all were like, "Oh yeah, it's Batroc, the Leaper," and I'm like, "Wait, oh my god, it is!" I was like, "I didn't even fucking notice."
Yeah.
Didn't even notice.
To be honest, unless he's like in a very multicolored and over French accent, you don't really notice it's Batroc anyway.
It's true.
It's really true.
It's kind of his thing.
Like, who dis?
Yeah, new man who dis.
Man, who dis? And then finally, so at the end of the episode, we've got one of the I swear to God I'm saying this wrong, so someone correct me. The Raj Mallah, the Wakandan
Dora
security force.
Milaje. I think it's called, yeah.
The what?
Dora Milaje.
The Dora Milaje, thank you. I'm terrible. So the Dora Milaje, we have one of the agents confront our good buddy and is basically like, we gotta kill Zemo. We gotta get him. How do we feel about Wakanda entering in on the conflict?
I'm always happy with more Wakanda.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense why like Wakanda is, back out and just looking for Zemo since he's out, and I'm sure they have a lot of words they want to have with Zemo after just about everything he's done. So I'm happy to see them back in the fold right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool because it shows the bigger stage of like Marvel, and one day it'll lead to Thunderbolts. I mean, a good story. So I think it's honestly super cool, and it also shows a potential three-way resolution / super backstab moment. Like, hey, we want Zemo for Zemo reasons, and you want the shield. We Wakandans will steal the shield for you if you give us Zemo. And Sam's like, what, dude? The shield.
How about no?
Yeah. How about no? Sounds like a horrible idea, but you gotta do what you gotta do. But I think it's like I said, I think it's an interesting idea to have a now you have an internal diplomacy, and there's no Doom yet, so Latvia, not Latveria, of course not.
Latvia is not a made up place. It's a real country.
It's a real country. Yeah.
So yes, this is definitely going to be interesting moving forward. We've got more players on the board. We've got betrayals at the ready to happen. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this episode of Enter the Spoilercast?
I mean, there's only 3 more episodes left, and it does feel like there's like you said, there's so many like threads still, and with only 3 episodes left, I feel like I'm kind of feeling shaky about it now because I'm not sure where they're gonna go, but I could be wrong. I want to be wrong first, but yeah, I was just like, I'm definitely still like interested in everything that's happening. More so the Bucky and Sam stuff than anything else. But yeah, like 3 episodes, it's not a lot, and I feel like a lot needs to happen. But yeah, I'm hoping like they give us more flag smashers just so I can understand exactly what they want, because like we said, like it's still very unclear. So that's kind of the thing that I'm really hoping to see in the next episode, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where I'm hoping they don't do what they did with WandaVision, which was like stuff all the revelations and everything into like one of the last 2 episodes or something. Like, this is one of those ones that really should have had a better pacing, especially for like the motivation of the flag smashers and stuff like that. But hey, we'll get what we'll get. We're definitely enjoying it. And then, once that's over, it's not too much of a wait until we get Loki. That's where the real fun begins.
And that trailer looked very
President
fun.
Loki, all the references they did for that show so far, I'm like, me as a comic fan, it's like, yes, I'm rewarded for reading the source material. Thank you, Base Marvel.
Oh man, yes, and of course, I'm guessing we will all come back for Loki, which is 100% most excellent, because of course you guys know I am on board as hell for that kind of stuff. But we must stay focused for Falcon and the Winter Soldier for now. I know it's like the boring. It's like you have your dope appetizer in WandaVision, and you have your like meh kind of meal, and then you got your like fabulous, sparkly, burning dessert. Loki.
Sparkling flan. That's the future.
Yep.
That's Loki's new nickname, Sparkling Flan.
I like it.
Sparkling flan. Stick some sparklers and some flan and call it a day. Better than your abuela used to make it. Bringing it back. We're off on the Loki train.
Keith isn't here to reel us in.
I'm supposed to be the one that's really as host. That's my job, and I'm bad at it. I get distracted. Any other final thoughts?
More Zemo.
More Zemo.
Yes, please more Zemo.
Please release that Zemo cut.
Yeah.
We definitely got to see the hours of his dance moveset.
4 hours of dancing in the club.
Actually, I low-key would pay for that.
Honestly, I would watch that over the Snyder cut. Shots fired.
Hey, I'm still waiting for the pachinko cut, but that's just us.
Yeah,
we'll get it.
Yeah,
We'll get
Jesus
it.
Christ,
We're bringing that one back. I don't even think Sarah was around for that.
I don't.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh yeah, I didn't come in for that one. I gotta listen to the thing.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the spiciest hot takes. All right. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, you guys, you can always listen to our other episodes and also all of the amazing content that we've got at theouterhaven.net. We've got everything you need in news, reviews, and views all about your favorite video games, anime, TV shows, films, and of course, we've got that awesome episode 3 review by our good friend Tyler. He is doing a great job with those, so you should give that a read as well if you've listened to this episode. And of course, please come visit us at theouterhaven.net and on all our social media channels. You can find us at The Outer Haven. And of course, until next time, stand by.